I am too. Alright. Damn it. These switched around again. How are you? Thank you very much, Ivanhoe. Yeah, I'm just getting the Nginx up and running. We're doing a test on a Django Vite library that I just want to test out today. So yeah, you fine? Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I can't complain. Just a bit tired. Didn't have much sleep last night, so I'm seeing how I go at the moment. All right, GitHub. We want Django Vite as an example. Oh, this isn't the one. All right, give me 2 seconds. Django Vite. Someone actually set up a. Cheers, thank you. Yeah, I can't believe it's been 500. So it feels like a long time ago that I started back in 2020. So yeah, how far NearBeach has come in the time, and we're going to refactor it all again. All right, a new guide, a video, open source repository. That's what we want. We're just going to grab this. We're going to go over here. We're in the home directory, so git. I haven't installed git. So we're going to just click git clone that. We're going to cd into that. What we've got in here is all of what we want, but we don't have a virtual environment. We actually have an install virtual environment, so we're going to do that very, very quickly. Zoom in, I'll bump that off to the other side. So we need to, do I have pip, Python? I don't think I have pip installed. No, I don't. Do I have, oh. No, all right, cool. Easy done. Just got to install this. This is a very brand new VM, so we just got to go through the processes at the moment. So we're just going to go straight into the installation. I'll do that so you guys can read. This is supported methods. Sure. We've got the sure pip, get pip. I think I got wget on here. Yes, I do. Wget, we're just going to do that right now. That should put it in the wrong file. So we're going to, actually, we're just going to move it. And we're just going to put it a little bit above. All right, so we should have, yep, cool. So in here, we just have to run Python get pip. We might need to do sudo. Hold on. All right, it wants us to do that. So sudo apt install Python 3. We're just going to see if pip pops up. Yep, pip. There we go. We'll just do it that way. Cool. I keep forgetting that I can do that. All right, it shouldn't take too long. Alright. I'm getting there. About 50%. Alright. That's sweet. That's sweet. I remember doing this a lot. Yeah, it's just admin. It was fun. It was fun when I was doing it. All right. right, we're getting there. Sweet. So we should now have pip installed. If I go cd into the Django Vite thing, I should be able to go, actually, sudo apt install python 3 vert. Cool, I can even install virtual environment at this level. Sweet, I am going to do that. That's just going to save us a lot more fluffing around. And then once this is done, cool, we can now go virtual environment VM. We're going to go source into the venv bin activate. Now we're in the virtual environment. We can go pip install read, and they don't have a requirements file, but I know that there'll be Django, Django Vite, and potentially some other packages, which we'll find out in a second. So it's just going to install those very, very quickly. To find out the other packages, we're just going to go Python 3 manage run server. Because it fails, we know what else to install. So pip install Django browser reload. We're going to hit that run server again. Now we can get the migrations. Sweet. If we go Python 3 manage, now that would be migrate. So that's just building the basic sort of Django database. Easy done. We're going to use the basic SQL. We're not going to worry about anything. The next thing I want to do is I want to go npm install. Oh god, that's a lot of packages for npm. Alright, it shouldn't take that long to download this much data. But then it's, I think it's downloaded. It's now just unpacking everything. Alright, cool. Alright, we just have got to wait. Won't take too long. And then once we've got that, we know the Nginx server works. Here it is. Thank you. We're going to get Unicorn working. And we're going to get it pointed at that web server we've just put up there. And then once that's done, we're going to put it in production mode, all that kind of fun stuff. And we're going to make sure that the Vite stuff that we compile, all the static files, sorry, we're going to make sure that all the static files do report to the where the static files are meant to go, and the user does get them. So yeah, we're just going to test all of that. All right, because if that doesn't work, it means that we'll probably not choose Django Vite, but if it all works, we'll be like, yep, let's just implement Django Vite. Let's put through the effort to get it to work, because it's just going to make the development process so much easier for developers. All right, cool. We're about 20% through. All right, it's definitely taking its time. It's been a while since I've used Unicorn, so strongly advise that you use Nginx, which I'm using. I'm familiar enough with Nginx, so I'm all happy with it. If you choose another proxy server, you need to make sure that the buffer slows clients when you use a default Unicorn workflow. Alright, without buffering, Unicorn will be easily susceptible to denial of service attacks. You can use Hey to check if your proxy is behaving properly. What is Hey? There's a tiny program that sends some load to a web application here. Binary name conflicts creating confusion. Alright, cool, yep. Okay, makes 1,000 requests with 100 concurrent workers. Oh. I might give that a little shot later. So, all right, we're about 35% all the way through. We're pretty much going to copy this example. Yeah, we've got to change it. So, this is for the Nginx config. Config, yep. So, we'll get rid of what we've got. What I can do... No, I can't do that, Tox. Alright. I can open up another tab. Oh, I don't know the IP off the top of my head. So what I want to do, sudo vim, we want to edit something in etc nginx. We've got sites available. We won't have a default. What we'll do is we'll call one django.conf. I don't think it needs conf. But we'll put conf in just in case. I'll just put all of that in for the moment. Unless this is nginx conf, in which case not the available server, which now that I'm having a look at it, oh no, there's the server. Give me 2 seconds, I'm just writing, okay, sudo vim etc nginx. Yep. Oh, I think I've screwed up. Yeah, I've screwed up, not a problem. We've got the HTTP stuff in here. All right, cool. I'm just gonna go over here. Now they've got the servers for some strange reason in there, which I'm not a fan of. However, we've got worker processor up the top, so user nginx, user, all right, we'll keep those the same, worker processor, auto, all right, error log, PID, yep. Events, worker connections, 1024, yep. Set to on if nginx worker processor is greater than 1, use epoll to enable, all right. I'm not gonna worry. All right, include MIME types, yep. Default application oct stream, all right, cool. We've got access log. Yeah, we've got the access log, yeah, we're fine with that. Send file on, yep. Upstream app server. We don't have that, all right. So we are going to go in here. We're just going to copy all of this. We're just going to paste it in. Realize it's all really weird. We're just going to delete the comments for the moment. Yep. We'll leave it like that. So they've just got it, server temp unicorn sock fail timeout equals 0. Yeah, we're just doing the default with that. And then we just need to edit the server stuff, which I am just gonna copy. We're gonna right quit this. We're gonna remove the thing we created. Oops. Sudo vim etc nginx sites available. Sorry, and we're just going to put Django, and we're going to go up to the top. So we've got listen on 80 by default. We'll have listen 80 there. We'll have listen 443. We'll have listen 443. Actually, I think I got that wrong. All right. Client body max size. Yeah, why not? Server name. Into 168 dot, I think. Hold on. Sorry. Like that. Keep a lifetime out. Yep. Path to static files. Okay. So what we want, home, NearBeach. This is where I go over here, and I'm like, sweet. This is just finished. We're just going to copy this. We're just going to go over here. We're just going to paste it in. I'm just going to go way down here. We're going to do all of that. And then I think it's called that. And I'm just going to comment that one out. So we got reference of it still. Yep, that's perfectly fine. And then once again, I am just going to put that as a comment. And then we're going to do the same thing. Root, home, NearBeach, Django, Vite, Tailwind, starter. And I think it's like that. Path to app. Oh, they have SGI. All right. I think that's it. It has been a long time since I've done this, so not a problem. If you want to be able to handle streaming request responses from other features like comment, long WebSockets, you'll need to turn off the. Yep. All right. Cool. We're not wanting to do that at the moment. If you want to ignore order requests like health checker, load balancer. We're not waiting for a response. You need to. Yep. All right. Cool. We're not going to worry about that. It is recommended to pass protocol information to Unicorn. All right. Without this information, the application might mistakenly generate HTTP URLs in HTTP. All right, we're not going to worry too much about that. If you're running Nginx on a different host than Unicorn, you'll need to tell Unicorn to trust the Xforward. All right, we're not doing that. Yeah, we're not worried about that. To serve an app from virtual environment is generally easier just to install Unicorn directly into the virtual environment. This will create a set of Unicorn scripts for virtual environment, which can be run in the application as normal. All right, cool. So make directory virtual environment, web app source. All right, pip install Unicorn. That's what we've got to do. Not pip install Unicorn. Easy done. Then you just need to use one of the 3 Unicorn scripts that was installed into that. All right, cool. You can force the installation of Unicorn in your virtual environment by passing the I or ignore installed option. All right, cool. We don't need to worry about that at all. All right, now the one problem is I didn't create a virtual environment in that one. Web apps bin. Choose one of the three. Okay. VM bin unicorn. Activate this is the only one. All right. Oops. Easy done. I don't know what that means. Then you need to use one of the 3 unicorn scripts that was installed into that. Yeah. I mean, what we could do. Let's deactivate this. Let's go and follow what they've done. So we're going to make directory in here VMs. Yep, we've got it as VMs like that. However, they've actually made it on the home page, so we might as well do the same thing. There we go. I'm going to remove the VMs from here. That's fine. And then what we need to do is virtual environment. We're just going to do that. Cool. And then we're going to activate the source. Sweet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to install Unicorn. And then we just need to deactivate. Cool. And then all I'm going to do is ls vms web app bin. Alright, it's saying run one of the things. We've got activate this or activate. All right. Oh, there's another Django thing we need to actually install. That's fine. We'll get back to that in a second. We'll just install these very, very quickly. And then we'll do Python 3, manage run server. It's going to complain about something. We're going to go, all right, cool. We just need to install Django browser reload, and then it should all work perfectly fine. Sweet. I don't think we can actually access that. No, because we don't have Nginx port forwarding, which is fine. All right, monitoring. Make sure that when you're using either of these service monitors, you do not enable Unicorn daemon mode. These monitors expect that the process will launch and the process. All right, cool. We're not worried about monitoring. Run it. A popular method for deploying Unicorn is to have it monitoring by run it. All right, cool. No. Supervisor. Another useful tool to monitor and control unit is I remember doing something like this. All right. Systemd a tool. Yep, we'll be using systemd. So yeah, we'll need to create a one of these files again. I'm just going to cheat. I'm just going to copy all of this. All right. So the description: Unicorn daemon requires unicorn socket, network target. Unicorn can let systemd know when it's ready. The specific user that our system will run as, some user, group some user, yep, cool. In fact, I think that should be NearBeach. Easy done. Don't use to runtime unicorn. All right, working directory. This is where we're going to comment this one out, and working directory equals home NearBeach. Once again, I'm just going to do that. We're just going to ls. We're just going to grab this. I really should have shortened that name. And that should be the application root x start equals user bin unicorn. Yep, cool. Yep, that's fine. Kill mode mix timeout private there. Install by, yep, all right, sweet. We're just going to save that. And then we need to create the socket. I remember doing this a long time ago. Oh, I just realized. All right, cool. Give me 2 seconds. Sudo move etc systemd system, and then we've got unicorn that, and what we've got to do is do it like that. All right, etc system. Oh, I need to be sudo, don't I? etc system md system. Gotta make sure that that is correct. So we've got system unicorn service. Oh, unicorn service. Sorry. I don't see it. Did I move it here by mistake? Oh, I moved it here by mistake. All right. Ooh, this has got to be a sudo move, and that will be the unicorn service, and that will go into etc systemd system. There we go. All right. All because I copied an extra character. All right, so we're also going to just copy this. So unicorn socket, we're happy with that. Run that. Yeah, we're fine with those. Yep. All right, cool. We're all happy with that. Let's see if it'll boot. So sudo services. Unicorn status. Loaded, disabled the service. All right. Job, unicorn service failed because the control process exited without with an error. All right, cool. I do remember this command is a lot better at telling us what we're looking for. Failed to start unicorn. The process exit code is exit at the status 203. NearBeach system. Goodness. Unit fail defined by system. Alright, Unicorn's main processor exited. Yep, alright, cool, but what line? What line? We've got one of those files wrong. Which one? I won't be able to tell you. I thought I could in here. NearBeach, stun unicorn service, unicorn daemon, start job has been executed. Is the process alert? All right. But why? All right, not a problem. So we're just going to go through the service very, very quickly. So we've got to make sure. Unsubscribe, 007, welcome. I hope you're going well. Yeah, it is the group NearBeach. So the user and group. But it also might be because, oops. Oh, it's definitely a user. Shoot, I'm in read-only mode. However, that might be set. I might just jump over here. Yeah, socketed user, socketed group, www data. All right, cool. So service, unicorn. I might need to restart the whole process. So I'm just going to do that again. So we're just going to go sudo, we're just going to paste it in, and then we're going to go sudo service, unicorn. Alright, so the service has failed. No, that's gonna go, yep, and then we want system control, status unicorn service. All right, cool. I think the X in the config is not providing the full path to all right, yes, let's try that. Thank you very much. Let's go sudo vim, let's see, system md, system unicorn, you're saying service? And you're saying it's not, oh yeah, it goes to the, that's, I think you're onto something. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, I think it's under the project. There it is. Unit source configure price, drop in. Alright. Alright, let's have a look. cheers, thank you very much. Yes, I did miss that completely. You know, that just has it as... Oh yeah, how do I, It will be project.w. Yep, it'll be project.that. And then fingers crossed I've got this. Alright, moment of truth. I'm definitely missing something. All right, going back to here, gonna call service. Oh, application route. I'm just gonna get rid of that, and then we're gonna keep that one in. So a reload. So a restart, still not. Damn it. All right. I know I'm mucking up somewhere. In fact, NearBeach. We did do this at one point in time, but we delete all the docs. I think you need to have a wizard config file for unicorn. All right. Give me a second. It was not that long ago. We actually removed a lot of this documentation. So I can go back here. I can then go browse files. I can go into the docs. I can go into installation. I can go in the old installation process. It's the old server stuff. It's not that one. Not MySQL. Installation of Django. Yeah, I did do this a long time ago. It's been forever since we actually put this on Docker. So what I'm going to do. Oh yeah, this is the old stuff. Sudo unicorn bind with that. All right, that's just to make sure it runs. We edit the socket. We put in that into the socket. All right, save and exit, edit it. All right, and then working directory, Django project location. All right. We need the xstart to be the virtual location, bin, unicorn, all of that. All right. I think that's what I'm mucking up. System D, system unicorn, and this is the service. All right, so in here we've got the working directory. All right, then the xstack should go to the virtual location. Now they've got it as user bin which is not correct. So what we've got to do is we're going to go home, NearBeach, virtual environments, bin, unicorn. Yep. Cool. And I'm just double checking that. ls home, VMs. VMs. All right, cool. Bin activate. And then we've done originally done a bunch of stuff, but access log file, negative. I'm just gonna copy this in because it doesn't hurt. We've got workers 3, we've got the bind socket, and then we need the Django project, which would be project, I think. And then install by multi. All right, cool. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to write this because it's right there, and then over here we're going to go sudo service. Actually, no, it was a sudo start, but we need to reload in the file. Sudo goon, sorry, system control daemon reload. All right. I wish there was more information about this. That's what we had originally. There's nothing silly like a double space there. Instead of project, you should have the name of the folder where you have. All right, give me just secs. So we don't have it in here, but we do have a folder called project. And under project, we do have the wsgi.py. I don't know why you've got a lot more eyes in that. So that's why I've put project there. That should be fine. Yeah, we've got www data, we've got the Django home, NearBeach, Django v alert starter. It should be that one. And that one's located under the project folder. Content of a file. Oh. WSGI config for the file. It exposes WSGI callable as a module level variation named application. OS environment, set default Django project.settings. And that's the other thing I should look at is, what have we called this in project settings? I'm just going to quickly jump into project settings. I just want to check what we called our app in here. Oh, is that set in here? No, that's probably not set in here. Root config, WSGI application, project.wsgi.application. All right, that's good. That's a good idea. All right, source. Let's go VM bin. Let's actually use the vevs bin. Oh, I think I know what it is. Web app. We don't have web app in here. Yeah, I hate running these. But yeah, no, that's not it. All right, no, that's not it. But worth a shot. In the terminal, run goon acorn. Tell you what. Right, so it is listening on that. I don't think I can get to it from here. No, I'm not passing it through. However, in the old instructions, we did have a test for that. So we're going to do that. I don't think I've got uncomplicated firewall up and running. There we go, it allowed it. We'll just do this. Fucking project. Put that up. Hope for the best. There we go. All right, cool. I need to edit allow hosts. That's just going to be very, very easy. If I go vim, project settings, we're just going to enable everything. This is just a test environment. Boom. All right. So if we run it like that with the Goonicorn, that's perfectly fine. It's just, we haven't set up our slots and socks and services ready correctly. So this is somewhat working. Now, if I hit refresh, there is no CSS coming through. I'm just wondering if I do Python 3 manage .py collect static. Is there no manage in here? Oh, there is a manage in here. The directory static in the static directories does not exist. npm run build, npm install. Yeah, I 100% agree. I think it is a massive issue with my systemd service config file. Yep. All right, that is unsupported engine, view plugin React. Yeah, we're not using React, but oh no, wait, this file is. All right, cool, not a problem. Yeah, you're using Node to requires, please upgrade. Oh, crap. Should be, do I have node N? No, alright, cool, not a problem. Remember, this is the new test server, that's fine. It's been a while since I actually set up one of these. Ubuntu. It should be 24.04, sorry. Ubuntu 24.04 node upgrade. Alright, we're just gonna have to upgrade the node. Alright, we might as well do this. Yeah. Yep. This, I think this, the Stack Overflow message agrees with you. So, yeah. Yeah, I feel like I can just restart that. Alright. npm install 24. We might need to do sudo. Oh, maybe not. Alright, cool. Yep. Yep, alright, sweet. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove all my node modules. I'm going to go npm install again. Doesn't hurt. There we go. I'm going to go npm run build. That should create our static files now. Yep, we've got static in there. What I want to do, -3 manage collect static. So that will create our static root files now. So we've got a static root. Sweet. There it is. So if we go all the way to the unicorn command, which is fairly high up, we go there. Our next sort of test is to get this to run. And we're still not getting any of the static files, but not a problem at the moment. What I want to do is I want to vim our project settings. I want to put debug as false. I also want to go down at the end and I want to go false with debug with the dev mode for the Django V there. I'm just going to collect static just because I can't actually npm run build. Should be fine. I mean, I'm just doing that because I'm crazy. There we go. Let's go unicorn again. Damn. So I was hoping we could start getting these static files. So if we go into the network, you can see it's 404 not found. And we've got the static CSS. So if we go over here again, I'm just going to cancel that for a minute. If we go ls static root, you'll see that we've got the CSS in there. And if we go into CSS, we've got the styles. We've also got the manifest and all that kind of stuff in here. Damn it. I was hoping we would get the styles. Let's keep running the server. I'm just going to hit refresh. It's not telling us. Now, our in the settings, it should be pointed at static root. Right, we've installed node. I'm just going through this very quickly. What I'll do later is I'll copy this into the services, but we won't do anything at the moment. I'm just seeing if there's anything about the static files in here first. Alright, yep. No, alright, that's not a problem. once again, I'm just going through this to see if we're doing anything with static files. Yeah, we're collecting the static files, making the directory. That's just media and private media. Then we're restarting the Unicorn one. All right, we haven't done much. We're not editing. Now, in this sort of case, static root for this over here, that's set as static underscore root, which is fine. What do you mean? Do you mean like... I'm glad we actually moved away from installing NearBeach this way. Way too many manual steps. Docker made this so much simpler. Alright. Installation of Django. So we've all done all of that. Yeah, we're all happy with all of that. Make directory, project folder. Yep. So, alright. So this is working, but the static files, so for this, the static files are working. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to stop this. I'm just going to CD to the home. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to deactivate that. I'm going to make directory, and I'm going to call it blank. CD into blank, and I'm going to go virtual environment, VM. Here, I'm going to... Yeah, it should be. This is a project someone else has set up, and I'm assuming they've done it 100% correctly. So, it should be. No, it's not hey. Yeah, it's just this. So what I want to do is, and for those interested, is I want to confirm that the Django Vite plugin, library, whatever you want to call it, will work in a production mode, because I just haven't seen it work in a production mode. It was very, very fiddly to get it to work in a non-production mode. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to start project, blank, new project, if sorry, Sox is in the way. I'm going to go source VM bin activate. All right, cool. We're going to pip install Django. We're going to start project, and we're going to call it blank. Easy done. It should, yeah, it should output that into the static folder, and I do believe it did when we tested it. So if I clear the screen, so we do have a static folder in there and a static root folder. So if I ls everything in the static folder, there's our CSS, there's our JS. If I ls everything in our static root folder, there's the admin, there's the CSS, there's the Django browser reload, there's the JavaScript, and there's the manifest, all in there. Alright, so I'm just going to go back to blank. We've got blank again in here. That's fine. There it is. What we want to do is I'm just going to go back over into the instructions. We've installed everything. Yep, I'm going to make a directory, virtual environment, start project name, cd into that, cd into the settings. Yep, we're just going to vim the blank settings. What we want to make sure is allowed hosts is going to be like this. Debug is going to be true. Sweet, we're all happy with that. And we've already enabled that. I am just going to run the Unicorn on here. That was weird. Oh. I need to actually replace this. Oh, hold on. Pip install Unicorn. There we go. And what we should see is this. However, that being said, we don't have a fave icon. The styles.css didn't come through. NS error. Corrupted content. Right. Not a problem. We haven't actually, if we have a look at this, there's nothing in it. If we go Python 3 manage collect static and go yes. Oh, we haven't set any of that information yet. So what we need to do is vim blank settings. We're just going to go all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to go static root equals static root. I'm happy with that. If I go back into my random documentations, I'm setting all of that up. If we go into the NearBeach side of things, we don't need reCAPTCHA, we don't need SSL, we don't need email stuff, we don't need private media. Alright, if I actually do that one, and then I just need to import OS. That should be it. And then if I, there we go, it's collected. Yeah, it's collected 130. We now do the Unicorn bind. I'm going to go back here. I'm just going to go admin. Okay, what I'm going to do I'm going to turn off debug. Control Shift R. Yeah. I am going to turn off persistent logs. I also have no cache on and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, the base CSS is not coming through. It's got NS error, corrupted content. This is a doozy. This wasn't meant to take this long. I was hoping to have this server up and running and just confirm it, but it looks like I can't get this to work. All right. is all the NearBeach stuff. So we've done all that. We then create the super user, we collect the static, we make the private directory, we do all of that, we restart Gunicorn. I'm also sure we go into settings and we turn off default in here. HTTP header. Content type. Text HTML. It's not right. CSS. View page source. All right, let's zoom in for this one. So I'm downloading this one, base CSS, styles. I think we're onto something. Gunicorn content type. One single the Unicorn worker, the header is correct, but when run behind Unicorn, it changes it to text.plain. That was a couple of years ago now. Jesus. But we're not using that at the moment. Okay, that is really weird. But yeah, that's a style sheet. Just double checking something. Oh, network. I'm just going to hit reload. Just going to click on one of these. Text.css. I thought so. Why is it text HTML? It's probably because it's returning not found on the server. But if I get rid of that, oops. Oh no, it would be admin. Something like that. Alright, let's get back into here. I'm just gonna quit out of this. We're gonna go into blank. We're gonna figure this one out. So if we cd back into blank, we'll list everything. We've got the static in there. Alright, I'm gonna ls into blank again. Where's my... I think I might have been messing something up. Oh no. Static URL, static root. Yeah, that's... fact, I just want to see what actually happens. Alright, yeah. Cool. Blank, blank, static. I'm just going to hard code it just in case. Just going to go over here. We're going to hit refresh. What? Why have I broken Unicorn today? Trust me to break something. So yeah. All right. But if I go, let's say I copy that value to the static admin and so forth like that, we go over here and I go vim and we paste in the static admin, it does find it. And I am using, yeah. Let's have a look at Stack Overflow. 2 years ago, running Django dev server has no problem. I'm going to bump that off to the right side so you guys can actually see. Python managed runs over to 9,000, but if I use Unicorn, it complains. Why Unicorn? Try these setting in your settings. Static root equals base directory to. Alright. Let's do it. Let's go to the science machine. Gonna delete that. So you've just got the static URL. Tell you what, I am going to copy and paste. I know these are meant to be on multiple lines. And I'm going to uncomment the correct one. So now we've got static URL /static / and then static root equals base directory / static files. Now what we want to do is Python 3 and manage collect static. We've now got a bunch of files in static files. So if I go ls static files, we've got admin, which is what we want. Now let's, I've got Unicorn on the other pad. I'm just gonna stop, I'm just gonna reboot it. We are gonna go over here, we're gonna reload, and still nothing. Yeah. So static URL, they've got that. In the engine editor, sites enabled Django. Have you run collect static? Yeah, we've run collect static. Hard reload. All right. Yeah, still saying NS corruption content. All right, I'm just gonna cover that message. We are just gonna paste it here. Actually, we're just gonna search for it. Icon Django static, like that. All right. Browser may Yes. All right, I'll tell you what, I'll do you one little better. 168.4.64, 8,000. Now we're fine with that being not found because we're after the this page. So this is just a private browser. I'm happy to also try Chrome, just in case. Firefox has just been a bit annoying. Not secure. We're fine with that. That's fine. All right, cool. Let's try Chrome because we haven't done anything in Chrome yet. What I'll do is I'll bring that over here. We're going to have the network tab open. We're all happy with that. I'm going to go 192.168.4.64, 8,000, and we want to go to admin. Yeah, still the same thing. Okay. Found that Unicorn can't serve static files on. All right. Thank you for that. So we're back to the Nginx, we're back to getting the sockets working. So if we go down here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this code and we're going to replace what I did with the socket work. I agree. Run the dev server. All right, yeah, we can do that. Vim blank settings. We want debug. We're just gonna go true. And if we go, let's have it through. No, it won't. All right. No, because it won't serve that if Python 3 manage run server. Do have my Python 3. I'm just migrating this stuff because it'll annoy me. Alright, cool. Yeah, I won't have access to it though. That's the problem. Because this is on a VM. No problem. Let's set up the Unicorn stuff. So what I want to do, sudo vim etc systemd system Unicorn. We're going to go with the socket first. I'm just going to delete everything, and what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our old documentation. I can close some of this now. I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to paste this in, and we're just going to do that. So I got to make sure that I did do that correctly. All right, sudo vim etc systemd system, and then Unicorn service. We're going to go up to the top. We're going to delete everything. We're going to go over here. We're going to just copy what this used to do, and we are going to go home NearBeach blank virtual environment bin Unicorn. Oh yeah, thank you very much, Jay, for the help. Greatly appreciated. Anyway, have a good night. So yeah, hopefully I'll get this done. It's just to test one thing. So, you know, once we get it tested, I will be happy. All right, here I'm just going to ls the virtual env. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And then we've got the b that, and then we want to pip install Unicorn. We've already done that anyway. We're also done the Django and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're all happy with that. All right, so this is going good. What I need to do now is access we've then got to go down here. We're just going to type in. Actually, we don't have a project. we've got collect static, we've got run server, Django. We've got start app and then start project. I'm going to call it pain. And then what we want to do is we want to vim our blank settings. And that's just going to be pain.app, I believe. And if I go Python, then I'm gonna set up a bunch of stuff, and this is getting more and more overly complicated. Anyway, getting back into I think it might be blank. Yeah. All right. Because if I go back to the documentation, it clearly says Django project. Yeah. All right. Cool. And then I've just done another project for no apparent reason. So what I'm going to do is then I want to remove my pain. All right. Cool. All good so far. So what we want to do, system control, daemon, reload, sudo service unicorn status, bad unit file setting. Unicorn changing to the requested working directory, permission failed. All right, now I know that error. That error is pretty easy to solve. So what we want to do is we want to edit this. We want to fix this up. So home, NearBeach, blank, blank. That's right. Now, in this sort of case, we want NearBeach to be the one running it. And then now Django project locations. All right, that's oh, we didn't get an error. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, but it's disabled at the moment. All right. But it's active. Okay, cool. This is a good step. We are getting there slowly. All right, so we've done that. I am going to do something like that. I'm going to enable the socket. I'm going to get out our status. All right, cool. It is actively running. And now what we want to do is create our Nginx stuff. So I'm just going to go sudo vim etc nginx sites available. We have one for Django, easy done. I'm just going to go up to the top. We're going to delete all of those. We're going to paste in what we've got. So the server name. This is just going to be 192.168.4.64. We've got the fave icon. We've got the static root. Now the Django project location. That's going to be the home NearBeach. That's going to be blank, blank. All right. Now in here, Yeah, we just gotta turn it on. We just do a symbolic link, otherwise, let's copy CP. Oh, LNS. You see Nginx sites available, Django, and then that will go etc Nginx sites enabled. And then we want to go to Nginx test. All the test configuration is fine. Nginx. We also want to remove the old config, so there's no conflict. So remove etc Nginx sites enabled. We want to remove default. That's perfectly fine. And then sudo service Nginx reload. That should reload everything. We didn't get any errors. We can restart. Restarting. Cool. We do need to allow Nginx full, so we're just going to copy that all the way in. We're going to reset in Unicorn. We're going to jump over here. I'm just going to get rid of the 8000. Now this is still saying welcome to Nginx though, which is not what we're expecting. We're actually expecting nope. We're actually not expecting that at all. We're expecting the Unicorn stuff to sort of populate through. All right. All right. Oh God, we need to blame. Oh yeah, this is all blaming me. I'm so old. This is all like 6 years old. Okay. Alright, now we find what else I have broken. Alright. ls etc sites enabled. Just got Django in there. Got the sites enable status. Yep, cool. To servers, goon, icon, status. Still disabled. Hold on, sunshine. Yeah, we should be starting it. Loaded, disabled, present, enabled. All right, cool. All right, so enable, yeah, we've done that. We've done that multiple times. Unless I've got the order around the wrong way. Status, goon icon. There you go. All right, cool. I probably had the order around the wrong way. Still Nginx, however, that being said, sudo service nginx restart. Still doing that. Alright, that's definitely not ideal. Okay. Authentication is writing to the managed system of unit files as NearBeach. Alright, cool. Alright, yep. You know what? We're just gonna restart. Let's see where that is. Does it actually show me up on my dashboard? No, it doesn't actually show that I just restarted it. Oh, that's sad. Show me the RAM usage though. That's pretty neat. Alright, cool. Luckily, not too much with when it comes to the RAM, which is nice. VMSs, let's reload that. Sorry, I'm looking at my Unread dashboard. It just says it's started. Let's SSH in. We know what the password is. Cool. Sudo service nginx status. So it's running. Sudo service nginx status. It's running. All right, let's go over here. It's still going to this. Even though I'm going to delete that default file. And what I'm going to do, etc nginx config, I'm going to make sure that we don't have anything in here. Included config. Yep, alright, cool. We've got the access log, we're all on this. Yep. Sudo vim etc nginx. Default config. Alright. And hello, Sherry. How are you going? How have you been? Hopefully you've been well. Must be cold over there at the moment. We are finally warming up here. I might head back over this year. Don't know yet. Depends on a bunch of things. So yeah. All right. I'm just going through this. We've got the user share. We don't have it. You good? Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, I can't complain. Just being busy. So yeah, trying to keep my head afloat at the moment. But yeah, otherwise, all has been well. All right, I'm just gonna remove this HTML file. I'm just gonna hold on. I need to sudo that. There we go. I'm going to copy in the blank. I'm going to put it here. Copy. We need to do recursive. So it'll be blank, blank. That will go here. Permission denied. I'm going to do that. We are going to go sudo ls and list all. We need to change that. Really sucks. There's nothing up there. It's staring at empty space. We are going to sudo change owner www.root for everything recursively under dot blank. Yes, yes I do. There we go. It's www.data, not wroot. Alright, we're gonna do that. Oh. Why is that failing for me? So change owner to the options, owner and group. So www.data, and then everything under that. Change owner, www.data. Oh, hang on. We need that, and then we need that. Am I mucking up this command again? Change the owner of view. Change. All right, hang on. We'll just go ls, all of that. So we've got the blank and stuff like that. So under blank, we've got all those files and so forth like that. And what I want to do, I want to create a virtual environment within there. Virtual environment, actually no, I'll create it here, VM here. We want source VM. I need to sudo that. All right, cool. And then I need to go source VM bin activate. Cool. Sudo pip install Django and unicorn. But we're in the VM. Yeah, pip install. Give me 2 seconds. Sudo su source VM bin activate. I'm just working around all my limitations at the moment. So pip install Django and unicorn. That should install everything that we need. And then I think let's just exit just to get down to here. Cool. And then what I want to do is we've got 2 folders in here. I want to sudo change owner to change owner recursively, or is it a capital? It's a capital. All right, change owner www.root for blank. Sudo change owner www.root to virtual environment. Easy done. In fact, we should be doing this at that level. So if I now go this, you can see that all of this is owned by the www root user. Great, we're happy with that. Our next thing to do is sudo etc system d system unicorn Where's my unicorn? Yes I can. Oh, hang on, gotta log in. All right. Give me 2 seconds. Be quicker if I do it like this. And verified. All right. And KVX, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Welcome, welcome. All right, I'm just gonna ls that Nginx sites available. Yeah, we got the Django thing, so we're on the right server. All right, so NearBeach is an open source project management system. Currently we are refactoring out all the tech debt. There are some things that we need to investigate, and today we're actually investigating something. So we're investigating Django Vite as being a plugin which we could use that will hopefully help improve the development process of NearBeach, because we're moving away from Webpack to Vite. So yeah, so currently at the moment I'm trying to get up a very basic web server that is using Unicorn to host a Django environment, and we're going to test to make sure that the static files are coming through. Then we will implement a similar thing with a test repository that has Vite already set up, and we're going to make sure that it still works in that repository. So yeah, that's what we're doing. The idea being is, if this works, great, we'll move forward with it, because it's going to help the development of NearBeach, making it just really, really easy to sort of develop for. So yeah. And we keep hitting every single hurdle along the way. So sudo etc, actually no, hold on a second. I'm gonna go back to my old documentation. Here it is. We're gonna scroll up. Yeah, we had it there. So I'm just gonna make sure that the socket's there. Oh, I think I know what I didn't type sudo. Yeah, all right, no, that's my bad. I didn't type sudo vim. etc system d system, and then unicorn service. We're getting there. Yeah, cheers. I try and be laid back as possible, and then you'll just hear me start swearing and stuff. Alright, we're just going over here. I just wanna, whoa, capitals, Jesus, I don't wanna shut up the terminal. Terminal didn't do anything wrong. All right, so www data. Just gonna paste that in, and then we are getting rid of a lot of this. It'll be all of that, which is great, and then we can get rid of all of this, and it will be just that, which will be great. And then we're just going to reset everything. So sudo service unicorn restart. So system control daemon reload. Too many, no, that's fine. All right, cool. We're gonna go sudo service unicorn status. So we've got all of that running perfectly fine, and then sudo service nginx restart. Failed to restart the engine. All right, that's fine. We're going to go sudo vim edc nginx sites enabled. We're just going to go into the Django. This home node, this no longer belongs there. So what we want to do is we want to go var www blank, and that will be the static file. That will be the locations. That will be all of that. And listen 443. Okay, the restart worked perfectly fine. Oh, still going here. My file doesn't exist. All right, I'm going to do something crazy. We're going here. We're going to try and find that. Oof. All right. That's all fine. I wonder why it's still, let me go back to my documentation. So, up here, we're installing that. We install all of that. We install pip. We install a virtual environment. We make the directory. We create a virtual environment. We source into the bin activate. Great, cool. Yep. We install Django on Unicorn. We start the project. Yep. That then creates a project. We then edit the settings, change the following lines to reflect the following. So debug and allowed hosts. And then we do a test. Now that test worked for us before, once again, but it's not sending out static files, which is fine. We then want to install this, so we've edited that, we've pasted that in, we've edited this, we've pasted that in, we've started enabled, we've run the status. We then, if the unicorn status is active, you need to configure the ng and that. So we've copied and pasted that in. So we've done that. We've got the project location, create a soft link, yet, which is what we've done. We've tested it. We've restarted Nginx. We've enabled that. Fill out the allowed host to appropriate values, and then we've done that. And that's what we've done, and I still don't know why we're still getting the freaking this. Actually, the 8000 is no longer there. So yeah, it's still saying Nginx, which is annoying. This ain't gonna find anything. That's perfectly fine. Let's just grep it in etc. No, nothing down there. Var. Yeah, that's just gonna do that for a bit. Let's just Google it. Only welcome page. All right, cool. All of this. Yep. The initial package comes with default sites enabled. That takes over the default. That takes over the default host dispatch. Simply remove the default link and it should load your site, which is what we've done. Another gotcha. Debian engine package also comes with a default index value for the default server that reads index HTML. I've had index show up in my www root directory, which took proceeding over the city. Alright, cool. Yeah, let's just test it. Alright, cool. So, alert. Could not open error file log. Log permission denied. Alright, hang on. So this is very verbose. So configuration file, Nginx syntax is okay. Nginx configuration file, Nginx test is successful. Configuration file, all right, cool. So this just goes through the config file. We've been through this already. Yep, access log, Unicorn sock. Yep, all right, cool. Mine types, all right, sweet. That's the mine type we want. Let's just go through all of that. Configuration file, default config. Oh. User share in. This is probably it. What I'm going to do, might need sudo. Might not need sudo for this. I am in pain. Oop, that's not meant to be. All right, cool. Sudo vim user share nginx HTML index. All right, cool. Gonna have to do that check all over again. I am in pain. Doesn't hit the same second time through. All right, nginx restart. Cool. We just go over here. We're just going to go up here. We're just going to reload. Boom. So it's hitting this config, the default config. So what I want to do, I'm just going to remove that file. All right, easy done. Doesn't have a problem. Unable to connect. Now, this is where Unicorn should be working. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do that. All right. All right. Tell you what. We're going to copy that. What we're going to do, sudo copy etc nginx sites enable default, and then we're just going to paste that in. We're going to nginx restart. All right, we're getting there. We are getting there. All right. Oh wow, he is streaming heaps. Sorry, just the streamer I'm watching. Great guy. Just streaming heaps. All right, we're almost at the end of the ad break. And then I can show the exciting news. Oh, well, it's exciting for me, all right? Yeah, we're almost there. Oops. And welcome back, everyone. So, the exciting news is, I need to shut my curtains, is we got it. Well, chair's stuck to me. We've got it. I'm gonna stand up in excitement. Alright. Looks like since the last time I've actually used Nginx, they've changed a few things that I didn't know about. So the solution, oops, I definitely don't want to show that. It's got driver's license. I don't want to show that. Alright, hold on. Yeah. Just playing around with my settings at the moment. So, if we go back into here, it was something that I saw. We've got the include this in here. Now, originally when I was using Nginx, I think that was a different path. So now that I saw that, what I've done is I've copied my config into there. You have to go, oh, anyway, thank you very much, Ivanhoe, for being here. We solved it. Well, we solved part one. Now we need to do part two, which shouldn't take that much longer. It's just pretty much copying the files we need in a certain area and doing what we've been doing so far. So what I want to do, I want to copy from the home directory, the Django Tailwind thing. I'm just going to go Django for short. Oops. Permission denied, not a problem. All right, cool. And then here, we should see it there. Now, notice how www data is not attached to Django. What we want to do is sudo change owner, recursively with a capital. And then we just go Django into here. Sweet. I'm going to open up the source for the vbin activate, and what I want to do is I want to pip install Django vt, Django browser reload. Sudo su just to get into here, and then what we want to do is pip install Django vt, Django browser reload. It is not letting me do that. You know what? That's fine. Deactivate. We've got an environment where we have it. So we're going to copy from the virtual environment. We've got the web app, and what we're going to do is... Oh, hold on. Before we do it, we're going to remove the VM VM here. We need to do that as a sudo. That's easy. And then what we might want to do is copy the VM's web app. Actually, let's do this properly. Like that, and then what we need to do, sudo change owner with a capital R, root data, and then we want to do something like that, and then if we do ls and list all, we've got everything connected to data. Sweet. If we go do sudo service nginx restart, no problems should be found. This site should load up perfectly fine. We're actually happy with all of that. So what we now need to do is we need to point the unicorn stuff at this Django environment instead of the blank. Pretty easy stuff. Sudo vim etc systemd system and then unicorn, and then we want service. And then we're happy with this. We're not happy with this one. We want to go Django. This line down here, this is actually going to be project. And that should be it. Unrecognized service, sudo service, unicorn, restart. Oh yeah, we need to do system control, daemon reload first. And if we do the restart for that, and then sudo service nginx restart, everything should have a bad gateway. Oh, 502. For those wondering what 502 is, it is a bad gateway. I've just realized I also need to edit some other files. It isn't just as simple as that. So sudo vim etc nginx config d. We've got the default config. In here, you'll notice that our locations are not set up correctly. We need to set it up for Django, and then what we're going to do is sudo service nginx restart. Oh, still a bad gateway, eh? All right, not a problem. What we want to do is we want to go tail, tail var log, and then it's going to be nginx somewhere in here, possibly nginx error log. Connection refused while connecting to upstream. Blah, blah, blah. Unicorn sock failed. All right. What I'm going to do. We're going to remove it, that file, for a reason. Log nginx error. Hold on. I only got the access log in here. Alright, what else is in here? Do we have a unicorn? We don't have a unicorn. Alright, not a problem. we've got the virtual environment correct. That should be project. All of that's correct. What I'm going to do, I'm going to see if this works. All right, we're going to go source var www vm bin activate. Make sure that we've got Gunicon there. Yeah, we do have Gunicon there. Everything seems to be running perfectly fine. I'm also going to go Python 3 manage run server. Everything's running. We're going to go back to the Gunicon, where what we're going to do is we're going to check that this is running how we want it to. All right, sweet. And if we go to the home page, we get all of this. Sweet. So it should run. We've just screwed up something. So I'm going to go sudo vim. We're going to go etc nginx config default config first. So we're listening on port 80 and 443. So HTTP and HTTP and HTTPS. The location is just /favicon. That's fine. We really don't have a favicon. The location is going to be static. However, that being said, I believe we've updated that. So that's probably causing an issue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump over here. We are going to go into the www Django. We're going to go vim project settings. We're just going to go to the very, very end. We've got the static root set as static root. Should still be fine. All of that should be fine. Then what I want to do, sudo vim etc systemd system Gunicon service. All right, cool. So execution start. Var www vn bin Gunicon. Yep. Access log file. Yep. Workers 3 Gunicon. Yeah. Yep. Project. Yep. I'm just gonna restart it. Oh, that came back really, really quickly. All right. And what I want to do, ls var log nginx error log. All right, cool. So what I want to do, vim var log nginx error log. Using epoll event, nginx built by GTZ, OS, yep, 6.8, yep, start working process, here go, fail, connection, while responding to the header upstream client, server, did it request upstream host, alright, connected to Unix unicorn sock fail, connection refused while connecting. We're just going to go over here. We're just going to paste this in and be like, what's our problem? With your unicorn or app code, packages not installed, etc. So we did that. It ran perfectly fine. All right, we're going to run that. I'm just going to get out of this. I'm going to do this. Sorry, something in my eye. I just put more stuff in my eye. All right. So, file, home, NearBeach, Django, virtual, starter, then site package, unicorn, avatars, spawn worker. Oh god, my eye. Now the problem is, I should be pointing this at a different directory. Oh, this is annoying. Oh, sorry, big yawn. And then a module called project found. Damn it. All right. But yeah, it's that's 10:11 though. That would be close enough to this time, I think. 11 hours ago. Actually, sorry, just getting something out of my eye. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. I might need to wash my face in a second. All right, I'm gonna be right back. I do apologize. This thing is really annoying me. Sorry about that. Just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Now, what's UTC time at the moment? Looks like I can't. Oh yeah, no, it fits in with that. But we shouldn't be pointing at anything there. Okay. Worker failed to boot. Okay. What I'm going to do, deactivate. I'm going to remove. We're going to go here, we're going to remove the... And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add data. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to allow user to edit W. This has been way too long. Sudo add user, username, data. Cool. Yeah, we've done that, and then go to that, and then what I want to do is virtual environment VM. Oh, hang on. I think I need to exit now. CD that, oops. And then make directory temp, remove temp, all right, virtual environment VM, source VM bin activate, and then pip install Django, Django Vite, Django browser reload. Cool, we're going to source VM bin activate. We're just going to cd into the Django environment. We're going to go Python 3 manage migrate. Cool, no migrations to apply. We're just going to run the server very, very quickly. Cool, server is running. No problems there. What we want to do then is absolutely forgot the shutdown command. Sudo shut down now. All right, cool. And I have the feeling I've done shutdown, but I don't have it booting back up with the restart ability. Yeah, it's just suddenly stopped. All right, I'm just going to start that up again. That won't take too long for me to get back up and running. We can tell by going over here to the bad gateway. And when this page reloads, boom, we're done. We're back in. Show me potato salad. All right, and we're back. That's how fast this loads in. So what we want to do now is we want to connect back up. Like so. We had a command. Oh, we need to first let's source VM bin activate. So we're in this one now, and then what we need to do is I'm going to go back over here. I want to go over here. We need to unicorn out, and we just had a project. Aha. Now that's at 10:20, which yeah, just happened just before. var lib Python 3 site package spawn. All right, cool. Yeah, that's we understand that. So sudo service unicorn restart. And this is 2036. It's probably just the same thing. I'm just going to go back over here. We're just going to hit. Ooh. All right. Getting excited. Very, very excited. All right. So the style has come through. If we go into Hello React, here is the Hello React stuff. What I want to do is edit something. Compile it, collect the static, reload the Unicorn and the Nginx. If that change, hell, we probably don't need to reload much. If that change comes through, I'm going to give it the thumbs up that this works. So as you can see, it's coming through. If I bump this off to the left, ignore the fav icon, that doesn't exist. I'm happy with that, but the styles does come through, and so does the Hello bundle. So what we want to do is we want to cd var www Django itself. Now under here, we've got what's called the static folder, which contains all of the stuff that we want to edit. So if we go, or it might be scripts actually. No. So if I go vim to the hello bundle in here, now this is the compiled stuff, so we don't need to worry about that then. All right, my bad. If I go into assets, sorry, it's in assets. And then what we want to do, vim hello, and then in here, what we want to do is we've got the alert, hello. Will this work for us? And I'm going to go npm run build. We're building the proper version. And then we want to go Python 3 manage. Oh, hold on. I want to npm run build. Do it at the proper level. We want to go Python 3 manage collect static. We're going to override everything, and then we want to go vim. We want to go to project. We want to go to settings. We want to then go all the way up to the top. We want to debug. It's false. All right, sweet. Debug is false. Debug is false. Sweet. Sudo service nginx restart. Now I don't know if we need to restart the Unicorn at all. However, will this work for us? All right. So I'm going to say I'm actually happy with this. So moving forward, we will be using Django Vite. To help sort of manage the development and the deployment of this. Now, that gives us the ability, I'm going to go, let's say here, that gives us the ability for us, for any developer to open up NearBeach and have a terminal there and go npm run dev mode. And then that way it compiles all the VueJS and all the JavaScript and stuff like that for them as they're sort of developing, and the browser all works, whilst at the same time making sure that the production servers don't fall over, which is definitely not what we want to do. So yeah, it does mean we've got to change a few things, but that's fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. That'll be fine for us. So my next step is to get this to work inside NearBeach itself. And the code guy, how are you? Tell will die in a few days or months. Yeah, I've heard some things about it, how they've had to let go pretty much a lot of people. Like I think it's down to just the one guy now. I'm not 100% sure about that news. Yeah, 75% of the team, because AI has, yeah. it's sad. It is very sad because yeah, Tailwind. I'm not gonna lie, Tailwind was that sort of middle ground I needed to sort of understand CSS, because all of a sudden I can start putting in classes and be like, oh, all right, so this is what this does, and so forth like that. Yeah, and it helps sort of alleviate certain other things, and yeah, I'm gonna be sad that it's gone. Yeah, these things are horrible, and they do happen, sadly. So yeah. How have you been, at least, the coding guy? Hopefully you've been well. We've done something today. So yeah, we've confirmed that we're going to use Django Vite, which is a library package I haven't really plugged in. I haven't really checked what its status is. But the idea of Django Vite is it allows us to still have Django, still have Vite run natively and stuff like that. It sits in between those two and handles the static files for us. So we don't have to do anything fancy or do any setup and stuff like that. So yeah, I am excited. Yeah, means that a user can go in, type in npm run dev, run their local server, and so forth like that. The ad time should be over. Oh, sorry, yes, we run ads on Twitch. And we do this so that no one misses out on Twitch. So yeah, that's all. I tend to ramble during the ads, stuff like that, so don't worry too much. So yeah. All right. So I'm happy with this. It was a struggle getting this to work. It's been a long time since I've done any system administration like this. So yeah, no, it was good as a refresher. I now know how to do it properly. I've made a lot of mistakes, so yep. Alright, so we've got this working, we can get this to work. I'm just wondering if we wanted to spend at least 5-10 minutes trying to get the stuff to compile on. Oops. I'm just shutting off my VM. I don't need it open anymore. Let's try and get this to work on here. So if we run npm run dev, there's our local running it. If I open up NearBeach, I'm going to go new window. Oops, I actually want to kill this window. We want to also terminate that. We're going to run NearBeach. And if we go into localhost 8000, this is our next problem that we've got to solve. Problem which I think we can solve. If I go into NearBeach, I want to, actually no, I want to go into local and then settings. I then want to go into debug mode is true. And dev mode is true. All right, sweet. And the other thing I've got to set up is Django Vite. All right. So that is there. Our next step is to get this to work. So the instant it starts working, we go huzzah. Yes. All right, so I'm going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up this. We are going to close that because I think we're where we need to be. I'm just going to move this over here because we'll be flipping from this screen to this screen. So if I right hand click, I'm actually going to close that one. I'm 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 going to close that one. All right, cool. We're going to right hand click and view page source. So on here, we've got the localhost static at Vite client. Now, if we actually go over here, what I want to do is I'm going to kill everything here. We are going to right-hand click and delete the static. We're going to open up NearBeach. We're going to open up static. There's nothing in static. All right, that is fine. What we also want to do is open up local and open up settings. We're going to go all the way to the bottom and scroll up a little bit because we're after the static files in here. Now, in here, what we've got it down as is that. Now, I'm actually going to close that. I'm going to terminate that. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to go git status. I'm going to go git checkout local settings. The reason being is I want this all back to normal, like so. So we've got it set up like this. I'm happy with it. I'm just going to hit play. I'm going to go npm run dev. I'm just going to reload this. I'm going to reload this. All right. That's all I needed to do. So the good news is we've got the JavaScript in. We just don't have the styles. Which means now I've got to do the styles, which hopefully won't take too long. So going in here, we don't need that open at the moment, so I'm just going to close it. I'm going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up NearBeach. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go to Vite config. Now we have an input. We don't have any style input. So what I need to do is I'm going to go and type in style. We are going to use the path resolve, the direct name. So in this sort of case, it'll actually be source, styles, and then style. And style. Sorry, I just realized that I have Alright, easy done. So the idea of this now is it's going to go, okay, I'll open up this. Oh, I've got some variables. Oh, I've got some accessibility. I believe I don't need to worry about that at all. And then I'll load all of this in. If we right-hand click. Now the one problem is it's, for some strange reason, forwarding to static. And I don't know why it's doing that. We'll figure that one out next, because we don't want it to do that. For example, if someone goes into requirements, it's meant to go into or project or something like that. Static is not meant to be there. In fact, the URL should be something like that. It just keeps adding it in. We'll figure that out next. Let's get the styles done. So we've got that done. We're going to minimize all this. We're going to open up this. We're going to open up the source. We've got the... No, not source. I want NearBeach. We've got templates. We've got NearBeach. And then we've got application.html. We don't have the style sheet in here just yet. I think that's it. Now, style.css 404. Okay, not a problem. We're not too worried just yet. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here. We've got the source main. I think it'll be source.style. I think that's what it's got to match here. So CSS source. Source.main? Or is it matching this path? Oh, hold on. Page not found yet. We're just gonna get rid of that. I want to click on the CSS. Still nothing. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. We're going to open up the JavaScript too. We're going to go main.ts. So that's static source main.ts. And I'm going to manifest too. I'm just going to minimize that. Okay, so we got style, we got CSS, yes. Alright. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just build this. npm run build. Ooh, could not resolve source style CSS. Okay, that's probably the problem. So we got source styles. Yeah. All right, npm run dev. Let's not forget my bad spelling mistakes. Now, style CSS still not works, but if I do styles.css, there we go. All right, this is really fiddly just to get to link up everything. Not the biggest fan of this, but if we get rid of the static, there we go. All right. So we're getting this to work, and we know this will then work on production because we've got to do the Unicorn and Nginx, which will then have to be included into the Docker build. But that's perfectly fine. We do need to actually review the Docker build processes. I think we can make this a lot better. So from here, what do we want to do? We want to get rid of that static, and I don't know why we're forwarding to it. Django URL is always forwarding to static. Redirecting every request to static is likely caused by an issue in your project's URL configuration. URLs, all web server setting like Nginx, common causes irregular expressions. Check your root. Yeah, we're pretty much. If I go get status, we've got the static files. I should remove those static files. I need to tell the build to output directory. Like that. npm run build. And then if we're in here. I'm going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up this. We're going to open up NearBeach. We're going to open up static. We're going to see everything in there. All right, cool. That's our next test, is to, and this will happen next stream or a couple of streams later, is we're going to use that VM that I built. We're going to put NearBeach on it, and we're going to test to make sure the static files actually work. So yeah, we'll get that. So that's just to confirm that this will work in a production environment. So yeah, all right. So I've done that. Check your root URLs. So what I want to do, I want to open up NearBeach. We want to open up the URLs. All right, so what this is doing is the path application will always forward it off to the front end, which is great, and this will also forward it off to the front end. Our URL patterns for the API will appear above here. This is fine. This is not causing it to redirect. Correctly defined, point in the, yep, all right. Oh yeah, that's a good thing to test for. Okay, so I'm just going over here. We're going to do this. Hold on, not a problem. npm run dev. We just don't have the dev server running. That's it. Oh. What is... Piss off. Jesus, I never want the console in there. Okay. So I do a refresh. Alright, project 12. Everything's perfectly fine. We get the client. We get the styles. We get all of that. We get the app. We get that. We get the router. We get the token. Alright, weird. Just going through all of this. These are all little tiny things that we've actually got to install. So something here is causing a redirect to the static. I don't know why. But that being said, this is all working at the moment. We don't want static to be in there in the future. We definitely want to actually get rid of that, and then that's going to handle that. Yeah, I don't know why it is doing that. All right, if I remove all of that and I just do that, and then if I look for project in here, a lot of it's project. Local host 8,000. I've only got that. All right. So this would be a Django V8, including static in URL. Include static in your Django V8. Incorrectly includes static prefix in development mode. Oh, this is probably it. Happened last year. Yada yada yada. Hi. Hi. Why do you switch base in your? The static URL is meant for production build manifest, not npm run dev. I cannot run my app in dev. All right. Issue, possible URL join issues. Yeah, so it is a bug. Is used to define additional class elements between us. Right. All right. Yep. Being served, but not loading on. Alright, not what I want. Yeah, it's missing, I think, oh no, there it is. Legacy key. This is the directory prefix for the static files. If you want to avoid conflicts with other static files in your project, it is used. Alright, cool. I'm just going to borrow it. Let's see what actually happens when we go into our settings. God, it's getting late. We will be headed off very shortly. Alright, I know I need to raid. Cool. I want my local, I want my settings. I'm just going to scroll down here. I'm just going to do that. I don't know if that exists. So I'm just putting that in there. We're going to restart the server. We're going to go over into here. We're going to get rid of static and hit reload. And it still does it. All right. However, this is in private mode. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, it still adds it in. Yeah, all right. I think this is going to be another stream issue. At the moment, I'm not too fast about it. It's just annoying for the developer if they need to refresh the page, because static is a reserved URL. Alright, so in this sort of case, we've got this working. We need to test to see if this will then port over into production. We'll need to make sure in production that we don't have the static issue, which we shouldn't. Yeah, alright. And I've got to do a little bit more reading and so forth like that. But let's raid someone, because it's almost 10 o'clock. I need to go to bed. Raid. Alright, we are going to raid Lum or Sunil. I can't pronounce their name right. But yeah, we're gonna raid this person. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much everyone for coming tonight. It has been wonderful. We finally got the proof of concept, not proof of concept, but the double checking this will work with production. Our sort of next steps is to do this with NearBeach, make sure it works with production, fix up any sort of issues like the static issues that we're having, and then we can start sort of working on the login screen and stuff like that. Anyway, thank you very much, and have fun. And for those on YouTube, sadly you won't be able to join our raid, but thank you very much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it does help. So yeah, thank you.